Peace and grace to you, beloved. You're not here by accident. This moment, this message, this stillness around your spirit, it's all divine timing. Heaven has paused time to speak something into your life. Not just a gentle whisper, but a sacred reminder that what you've carried, and who you were in their life, was never wasted. You've been questioning, wondering if you mattered, if what you gave was enough, if it ever meant anything at all. Let me assure you, you were not sent into their story by chance. You were placed there by divine assignment. You were the intervention heaven used. So breathe, because heaven is speaking to you now. This is your confirmation, your spiritual release, your healing unfolding. And if your heart feels this, if your spirit senses this truth as your own, I want you to type in the comments, I receive. That one act is not just engagement, it's agreement. The angels have spoken, and their message is clear. You were their lesson, and you were their blessing. Yes, what felt like rejection, what seemed like being overlooked or undervalued, was heaven's highest honor on your life. You were chosen to walk into someone's world, not just to love them, but to transform them. You may never know how your words softened their hard places, how your patience unraveled years of guarded pain, how your presence stirred a divine awakening in a soul that was asleep. You were not sent to be worshipped. You were sent to be remembered, marked, etched into the fabric of their becoming. Heaven did not choose you for comfort. Heaven chose you for change. And now, in the silence after the storm, your spirit knows. You were more than a chapter. You were the divine interruption. You were not forgotten. You were assigned. So let that rest in your chest for a moment. Let that truth find the places where your worth was questioned, and gently restore them. You felt the ache, that quiet unraveling, the confusion that settled after they left, or changed, or simply drifted without reason. And maybe you've asked, was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Why did it feel so real, only to be left with silence? But heaven needs you to hear this now. It wasn't the end. It was the awakening, the heartbreak, the sudden shift in energy, the unanswered prayers and unspoken goodbyes. They were not punishments. They were preparations, because you weren't just part of their journey. You were the sacred disruption heaven used to call their soul into accountability, to expose what was hiding beneath the surface, to bring light to the darkness they had normalized. You loved with purity. You gave without expectation. You stood where others walked away. But not all soil is ready when the seed arrives. And still, God used you. You became the mirror. You became the message. And though it felt like loss, it was divine positioning. As it is written in Isaiah, His thoughts are not your thoughts, and His ways are higher than your ways. Let that comfort settle in. You weren't abandoned. You were elevated. Beloved, heaven has been rearranging everything around you, not to confuse you, but to clear the path ahead of you. You thought you were losing people, but you weren't losing. You were being protected. God has been gently, and sometimes forcefully, removing the ones who could not walk with you into the next chapter of your calling, not because they were evil, but because their presence would delay your promise. You prayed for alignment, but alignment cannot come while the counterfeit remains. This season of silence, this space where familiar voices have gone quiet, is not emptiness. It's divine preparation. You are being set apart, not punished, preserved. Heaven is organizing divine appointments on your behalf, and what feels like a pause is actually God's hand reshaping your surroundings. You are not behind. You are being brought into holy timing. So breathe. Let go of what was not meant to stay. They had to exit for your destiny to enter. You didn't chase them away. Heaven escorted them out. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. Look closely. Your spirit has already begun to notice it. Subtle signs, unexplainable pulls, moments that seem too perfectly timed to be random. You've seen names repeating. You've had dreams that leave you with clarity instead of confusion. You've felt sudden urges to reach out, to go places, to prepare. You're not imagining it. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You're being spiritually synced with a promise that was spoken over you long ago. There's a reason you feel stirred again, a reason your discernment is sharpening, a reason peace keeps showing up, even in places where pain used to live. Divine alignment feels like stillness, like a soft yes in your soul. Even when your mind doesn't understand why, you are walking in step with something sacred, and heaven is illuminating your path, one obedient step at a time. As it is written in Psalm, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. You are not off course. You are being guided. So when you sense the nudge, follow. When you feel the pull, respond. The heavens are not distant. They're directing. Beloved, let's address what still lingers in the corners of your heart. The doubt, the quiet shame, the fear that maybe you missed it. Maybe you're too late. Maybe you're too broken to be chosen again. But heaven speaks this now. You are not too much. You are not too soft. You are not too emotional, too delayed, or too complicated to be loved well. The depth of your heart is not a weakness. It is the very thing God will use to carry divine love with power and purpose. You've walked through valleys others wouldn't survive. You've healed in silence, prayed in pain, and kept believing when there was nothing left but hope itself. And that was never wasted. The ache you've carried has only expanded your capacity to love deeply, fully, and purely. You are not being punished for your sensitivity. You are being trusted with sacred connection. As it is written in Romans, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." So breathe in this truth. Your heart is not a liability. It is heaven's secret weapon. There is someone, beloved, whose soul has been moving through fire, just like yours. They are not a stranger to pain. They have walked through betrayal, weathered storms of identity, and cried out in the night, asking heaven for someone who wouldn't just touch their body, but speak to their spirit. They are not perfect, but they are being perfected, just like you. This is not a fantasy. This is covenant. God has been shaping them in quiet places, in hidden moments, in private prayers, preparing their heart to know yours, not by attraction, but by recognition. They've been asking, God, is there someone who will see me beyond the surface? And heaven's answer is you. They are being readied to love you in truth, not in fear, not in fragments, but in fullness. And just like you, They've learned that love is not a transaction. It's a transformation. So when your souls finally meet, it will not be chaos. It will be clarity. It will feel like peace after a long war. When it happens, you won't have to beg for signs. You won't have to chase clarity. You won't feel panic. You'll feel peace. Your soul will whisper before your mind can catch up. It's them. There will be no performing, no pretending. Just presence. Just a deep knowing that calms the places where others brought confusion. You'll recognize it in their consistency, in the way they listen with their spirit, not just their ears, in how their energy doesn't drain you. It grounds you. You'll feel safe in a way you forgot was possible, covered in a way that doesn't control, but gently protects. You won't have to explain your softness. They'll honor it. You won't have to shrink to fit. They'll rise to meet you. This isn't about butterflies. It's about alignment, as it is written in Philippians, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Let that peace be your compass. Let it lead you, because when it's God, your soul won't wrestle. It will rest. Pause. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe in deeply. And now, speak this out loud. I am ready for what heaven has prepared for me. Say it again, slowly, with intention. I am ready for what heaven has prepared for me. Now go to the comments and type it. Let the word take root in your spirit. By putting it into action, heaven honors bold declarations. This isn't just a phrase. It's a spiritual agreement. When you write it, you activate it. You align yourself with the very thing you've been praying for. So declare it. Write it. Own it. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are choosing to believe. The shift has already begun. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but heaven is in motion. Your timeline is no longer delayed. It's being accelerated. Doors you thought were closed forever are unlocking quietly. Connections are being restored, not by force, but by divine flow. You are not standing still. You are being escorted into a season of alignment, grace, and fulfillment. There are people thinking of you now, dreams being stirred, plans being revised, all to make space for what God has ordained for you. You are not hoping in vain. You are walking into manifestation. Heaven is realigning your steps, your circles, your soul. This is not your imagination. This is invitation. Say it aloud now. I am in divine motion. I am moving forward with heaven. Let that settle in your spirit. Let your body feel what your faith already knows. What was once on pause is now picking up speed, and your obedience is the signal that heaven can continue the work. You are no longer in waiting. You are in becoming. While you've been healing, they have been searching, not just for someone, but for you. They didn't always know your name, but their soul has been longing for the one who would understand them, without them having to explain everything. They've cried out in frustration, asking heaven if love like this still exists. They've wondered if they were asking for too much depth, too much honesty, too much peace. But heaven kept whispering, "Wait, I'm preparing someone for you." And that someone was walking through the fire. You. They've been through their own breaking, their own shedding. They've had to let go of false attachments, dreams that didn't match their calling, and people who couldn't hold the weight of their heart. Just like you. They've been asking for more than a relationship. They've been asking for partnership, for spiritual alignment, for truth. And now, heaven is bringing that truth into their life through you. This isn't just about timing. It's about transformation. They've been waiting, praying, and becoming. And soon, when your paths cross, they'll recognize in you what they've been preparing for all along. Beloved, prepare your heart, because what's coming may not look like what you expected. They may not fit the image you imagined. They might not match your list, but they will match your purpose. You see, heaven doesn't choose by outward appearance. Heaven chooses by alignment of soul. As it is written in 1 Samuel, "For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." They may not have the status you envisioned, but they will have the spirit that brings you peace. They may come from a background unlike yours, but their essence will feel like home. This connection won't be flashy. It will be faithful. It won't be forced. It will be fluid. Don't reject what's divine, just because it's unfamiliar. What God sends often arrives in unexpected wrapping, but when you open it, you'll realize this was the answer all along. This connection isn't just about love stories. It's about legacy. You weren't just created to fall in love. You were created to build something eternal. When heaven sends a soul-aligned partner, it's not only for comfort, it's for commission. Together, you'll carry a spiritual assignment that neither of you could complete alone. Your love will be the soil where purpose takes root. You'll pray together, break generational cycles together, restore faith in places where hope was once lost. This love will not only feel good, it will do good.